is always see. Wait on and nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. The darkest night is always see. Wait on and nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough not to lose the game. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. No way, no way, no way, not to lose the game. 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 The darkest night is always see. Wait on and nothing, we're face to face. I've heard about you, you know about me. Already enough.
I'm packed and I'm holding, I'm smiling, she living, she golden, she lives for me. Says she lives for me, ovation, oh motivation.
To the 10 people in the house already, this is a cheeky microphone test.
the belly face down on the mattress one. And you hold me, and we are broken. Still it's all that I wanna do, just to live and I'll feel myself heavy off the ground. I'm scared I'm not coming down. No, no, I know I won't run from my life. She's got the toss down, locked down in a smile, but nothing is alright, alright. And I want something else to get me
I was sitting all alone, watching people get it on with each other. They were dancing across the floor, turning, moving back and forth. They were lovers. One more lonely night for me. I looked up, what did I see? Sexy eyes, moving across the floor, got me wanting more. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes. I got up and took your hand, and we both began to dance to the music. Oh, your magic cast a spell. It didn't take long till we fell, and we knew it. No more lonely nights for me. This is how it's gonna be. Sexy eyes, moving across the floor, got me wanting more. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, sexy eyes. I'm getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, moving across the floor, got me wanting more. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, sexy eyes. Getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes. No more lonely nights for me. This is how it's gonna be. Sexy eyes, moving across the floor, got me wanting more. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes, ooh, sexy eyes, getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes, sexy eyes, getting down with you, I wanna move with you. Sexy eyes.
It's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down. Oh, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know about your kind. And so and so and so and so and so and so and so. I'll have to play. If you think you're getting away, I will prove you wrong. I'll take you all the way. Boy, just come along. Hear me when I say, hey. It's murder on the dance floor, but you better not kill the groove. Hey, 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 hey. It's murder on the dance floor, but you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down. Oh, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. There may be others. And so and so and so and so and so and so and so. You'll just have to pray. If you think you're getting away, better not kill the groove. Hey, hey, it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna turn this house around somehow. Murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove. Hey, hey, it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down. Don't think you'll get away. I will prove you wrong. I'll take you all the way. Boy, just come along. Hear me when I say, hey. It's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove. It's murder on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down. It's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove. Hey, 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 it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not steal the moves, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down. It's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove. Hey, hey, it's murder on the dance floor.
track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Back a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pay. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah. West Coast. That's right.
Is that better? Can we hear me now? I had a whole hot little second talking and the audio cut out. Don't worry, you can't hear me, but you will, you're about to hear me. I don't think I need to repeat what I said. It was just a welcome. Welcome to week 6, pop culture, Netherworld trivia in isolation. I hope we're all emerging from our feral inner states and becoming higher beings 6 weeks in. Welcome to the people who are playing for the first time. I know that there are a couple of you. If you haven't already, post your team names in the chat because I and Ben like to know who is playing. I can already recognize a few regular handles popping up in chat, but if you are new, let me know. For those who are new, I'll give you a quick rundown. We have 2 rounds tonight of 20 questions. It's all pop culture trivia, and I have to admit, or I have to warn you, add a little caveat, that it does get quite niche sometimes and has been accused of being a little bit too geeky. However, if this is your safe space, then let those geek wings fly. Oh, we do have a few new teams in the chat. Welcome, 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 welcome. What do you need to know before we start? You need to know that if you are a scribe that is meticulous and you want the actual answer sheet, you can get it in the links in the panels below. You will need to have a printer on hand, obviously, but I assume if you're a meticulous person, you will have a printer connected to your laptop right now. If not, scribes, write wherever you want, doesn't matter. You are marking your own answer sheets in this trivia because it is the Great Wild West. However, we are going to be very honest and not Google anything. And at the end of the night, we're going to submit our final scores. So we're marking our own sheets, then we're going to submit our final scores at the end. It's a party. It's great. It's going to be effing fantastic. What else do you need to know? We've done answer sheets. We've done pop culture. We've done team names. Welcome PH14 Bitches. Welcome Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem. The Drinking Sterilizers are here. Team Radis, Billy Mitchell, Chemtrail Blazers, the Fellowship of the Quiz, Culture Vultures, thank you Bus Driver, Carol Baskin killed her husband, Beyonce Knowles, Dello Felagates. Oh, you're all so goddamn beautiful. Some people are already posting what they're drinking, as is tradition. Tell me what you're drinking. I tonight am drinking a pink glass sour from Grifter in a silver bullet can. It was canned here in the Netherworld, our very own Netherworld canning, as a part of the Netherworld bottle shop, which is still going and is opening up again tomorrow and running through to Saturday if you want your beers taken away. And if you want that fleeting moment of smelling the venue and feeling like you're here to socialize, even though you are in fact only here to pick up beer and leave. let's get into it, I think. We got some rules to cover. Our rules are somewhat, obviously, no Googling, but I have never not trusted you, so I'm sure you'll be fine with that one. Phonetically, it still counts is another important rule. Basically, it means I don't care if it's an alien language or a fictional second cousin name that you were trying to recall. I don't care how you spell it. The other big rule is we don't have any answers in the chat. There are people that are going to keep joining us, and they might have missed that rule and they might start answering in the chat. So you can just politely tell them that is not where we do our answers. And of course, our moderator, Ben, will also let you know. If you do have any questions, obviously just pop them in the chat, or if you want to tell me that you can't hear me or something needs to be louder, write them in the chat. Either I or Ben in the Netherworld account will get onto it. Our fourth rule isn't really a rule, it's an instruction, and I've already covered it, so sweet. Mark your own sheets, upload your scores at the end, and I'll explain how to do that later. For those who haven't played this before, you will just need to take into account my Instagram handle that's on the screen, because that is where you submit your comic drawing competitions. And this is quite crucial because it is in fact the only thing that you can win a prize for at the Netherworld Twitch Trivia, because obviously we don't give prizes to the winning team. However, I have kind of invented a dumb prize for the winning team tonight, but don't worry, it's super dumb and it's definitely not worth cheating over. Oh look, Scott from Canada has just signed into the chat. 5:30 in the morning in Canada. I hope you're feeling good. Scott, tell us something interesting about Canada whilst I move on. Okay, Netherworld notice board. I didn't actually have anyone send me personal stuff for the notice board, but we do have last week's comic winner, which I do show you every week. This one was Heather's drawing. It was amazing. Heather won a $30 venue voucher to be used in the venue once we reopen, which we definitely will one day. If you can't remember, the theme for last week's comic was COVID conspiracy theories, and I've got a couple more to show you too that were awesome. We had the Greta Thunberg conspiracy theory there, and these two amazing entries full of colour. The beautiful thing about the comic competition in isolation is that you can use whatever you want. Normally I just give you a pen and paper when we're doing it in venue, and everyone's getting out their iPads and their MS Paint. It's all very exciting. So well done to those comic fiends. I think it's time to begin. Round one, question one. Scribes, gather your keyboards or pens. The time is now. Thank you to everyone who requested themes last week. We did get quite a few themes, so I couldn't fit them all in, but I tried my best. It is time to begin. Round one, question one. Which of these Hollywood heartthrobs is spending lockdown painting Warhammer figurines? Is it A, Chris Pratt? Is it B, Timothée Chalamet? Is it C, Henry Cavill? Or is it D, Jake Gyllenhaal? Now, I'd like you to take notice of the fact that Toontown Express has liked this image on the celebrity's Instagram page. Toontown Express is in fact our very own Ben from Netherworld. We take a particular interest in celebrities who care about Warhammer figurines. Okay, it looks like culture vultures are all over it. I do give some hints if a lot of people in the chat are struggling, so you can let me know if you're struggling, but also let me know if you have got it and you don't want me to give out hints to other people. Okay, Vin Diesel have got it. Let's move us on, I think. Also, I know that some people take a little bit of time to get in here, to get into our virtual Netherworld, and I do go back and run through the answers quickly at the end, just because I know you probably missed some. Question 2, it's our questionable cosplay question. We have one every week. Which characters are these cosplayers trying to recreate? This week, it's worth 2 points. So if you can only remember one, it's still 1 point though, not bad. Oh, welcome totally isolated aliens. They have arrived and they have got question 2. Alrighty, are we ready? I think we are. A few people have said that they've got this one. Just take a guess if you don't. What do you got to lose? You're literally playing for nothing. Have a guess. Question 3. What are the 3 parts of the body mentioned in the Beatles hit Hey Jude? I would like you all now to connect on Zoom or Facebook, FaceTime to your team and sing it together in chorus in a beautiful moment of harmony and unity. There are 3 body parts mentioned and it is worth 3 points. Thank you, Britt, saying the playlist is on fire tonight. You may have noticed that the music has improved. It was because, and I know that you're all going to say I told you so to me, but it's because I did realize the copyright-free playlist I was playing was not in fact copyright-free. And I additionally realized that Twitch hadn't muted any of the videos. So I think it's fair game. I think we can do whatever the hell we want. How are we doing with Hey Jude? We got 3 for 3? Nice. Culture Vultures and Russell Crowe are all over it. I really hope we're having beautiful, off-key Hey Jude sing-alongs right now at home, connecting us together. Sweet, let's move us on. I think we're pretty sweet with this one. A question 4. Oh, this is worth 7 points. This is a game changer. It's a this or that. I want to know if the words on the screen are World of Warcraft spells or energy drink flavors. Now, I'm sorry to the people that don't care about World of Warcraft, but I have to say, it's the theme that I've been requested most consistently over the last 6 weeks that I've yet to ask a question about. So I am rewarding you with a 7-point question. Of course, the words we have is number 1, Elemental Fury, 2, Star Blast, 3, Pure Silver Zero, 4, Efflorescence, 5, Green Storm, 6, Shred, and 7, Life Bloom. This could be a random assortment, or it could be half and half, or it could be all spells or all energy drink flavors, except I'll let you in on a secret. It's not one or the other, there is a mix. I'm hoping if you have no clue about World of Warcraft and you're not an energy drinker, you can just kind of vibe it out. You've probably been on this earth for a minimum of 20 years. Use your cunning powers of deduction, your knowledge of both marketing and RPGs, and try and noodle this one out. I'll leave it up for a little bit longer. Ooh, Team Henry Cavill's ass has 7 out of 7. So this is why I like these questions. An underdog team, not to suggest that Team Henry Cavill's ass is an underdog team, but an underdog team that nails them could potentially take out the round. Alright, I'm going to move us on. I always say take a mental screenshot when we're doing trivia in person, but in virtual trivia, you can take an actual screenshot and save it for when you're debating at the end. Question 5. It is an audio question, so let's just kill that background music for a hot second. We are going to listen to a little mashup of videos, a bunch of songs that all came out in the same year. I want to know the year that they were all released in. Please enjoy them.
Stacks on deck, Patron on ice, and we can pop bottles all night, baby. You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby.
And I don't need you, and guess what? I'm having more fun. And now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I kissed a girl and I liked it. The taste of her cherry chapstick. I kissed a girl just to try it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it.
Now, I didn't intentionally do this, well I kind of did, but I discovered after I cut this together that it kind of tells the story of a woman that liberates herself from her controlling partner, gets angry about it, and then realizes that she's gay, which I am very here for that narrative. Let's listen to it one more time. I want to know the year that all of those hits came out. They did come out in the same year.
Stacks on deck, Patron on ice, and we can pop bottles all night, baby. You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby.
And I don't need you, and guess what? I'm having more fun. And now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I kissed a girl and I liked it. The taste of her cherry chapstick. I kissed a girl just to try it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it.
Alrighty, that's the last time we're gonna see that. I don't need to know the songs, I just need to know the year that they were released. Alrighty, I'm gonna move us on. Question 6. Oh, it's another feature that I love called arbitrary lists on the internet. According to Amazon's bestsellers list, which of the below is their number 1 best-selling board game? Is it A, Monopoly, B, Codenames, C, Connect 4, or D, Battleship? What is on their bestsellers list? They do update their list, apparently, according to Amazon's site, they update their bestsellers list every half an hour, which I think is a little bit overeager. But that's what they say. And this was the list as of about 4 p.m. today. So do with that information what you will. I would say, although I don't, it would be a lie if I said I knew exactly how Amazon judged it. Based on the list that I saw and got this information from, it looks like it's talking about the classic original versions of each game, not necessarily the variations. So great question. I believe it is classic variations. No, sorry, just classics, not variations. Classics, not variations. But I'm just using my inner eye to guess that based on what I saw. Okay, great. Our moderator then just confirmed that it is just the original versions of the games rather than the random spin-offs. So don't include the random spin-offs when you're doing the count in your head. Speaking of random spin-offs though, has anybody else seen that Codenames has an online version now? So you can play Codenames in isolation, which is super exciting because it is the best game on this list. Oh, Alanis. I'm going to move us on, everybody. Oh, I know what I'm moving us on to. It's question 7, which of course is our subjective 7 question. For those who are new to Netherworld Trivia, question 7 is technically a subjective question, meaning there are many answers based on your opinion. However, in this instance, I do want one particular answer, and I want you to try and anticipate the one that I think would be the answer, or the one that most people would think the answer was. Or actually, maybe not that. It's mostly just my opinion. I've had some controversial questions before, namely Jeff Goldblum hotness factors. I'm hoping this one will be less controversial. However, I have a feeling I'm in for a fight. Here we go. Question subjective 7. What was the most knockout, meaning excellent, film released in 2015? There is a right answer, so choose wisely. I love that there's a team that has developed a strategy to dealing with subjective 7. That's just good gamesmanship. Now, I do use the term knockout to mean most excellent, but I also did think about the nuance of that description as well. Don't take it too literally, but I was trying to evoke a feeling. I didn't want to just say the greatest because that's a bit bland. I feel like I've evoked a feeling with knockout, but you can tell me I'm wrong in about half an hour when we do answers. Of course, there is an additional problem of having to remember what came out in 2015. Ooh, thank you. A bus driver is very confident. So is Vin Diesel. I'm glad Ben agrees that there's definitely a right answer, and we'll just see come answers if we actually agree on what the right answer is. Alright, interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's got here. Alright, moving us on. Question 8. Oh, question 8. Love this one. For 4 points. In which order did the wet bandits set off these booby traps in Home Alone? So to get the right answer, you need to order the letters 1 to 4, 1 obviously being the earliest you see in the film, 4 being the latest. So our options are A, hit in the face with a heated iron, B, hand severely burned when placed on a searing hot doorknob, C, shot in the groin by a BB gun, and D, loses shoes and socks while climbing tar-covered stairs and then jams a nail into their foot. So I want to know, they all happen, just to be clear, if you're not a Home Alone person, they did all happen in the movie. I just want to know what order we saw them in. So order the letters 1 to 4. if anyone out there is admiring this amazing yellow shirt that I'm wearing, and I wouldn't blame you if you were, I'm going to stand up so you can see it. This is my personal favorite of the Netherworld merch t-shirts, designed by our Brisbane's very own amazing artist Phoebe Paradise. Why did I mention that, you might ask? Well, just so happens that the merch is still available on the Netherworld Arcade website, and if you are missing anything that smells like the venue, or just throwing money at the venue, you can head to the website and buy yourself merch, vouchers, all sorts of things to keep your bank balance occupied whilst we're in lockdown. Okay, I'm going to move us on. I killed time enough to give you enough time for question 8, I think. Question 9. Let's move on to question 9. After Nirvana dissolved in 1994, what did Dave Grohl do next? A. Queens of the Stone Age. B. The Foo Fighters. C. Them Crooked Vultures, not Cultures. Or D. Probot. And yes, I know it's vultures, not cultures. That's a typo, and I'm sorry. I'm just going to turn this song up just a smidge because it's a great one. Queens, Foos, Crooked Vultures, or Probot, which came after Nirvana? You let me know. And we're going to move on to question 10. These three actresses are all here portraying the same literary character. Which character is it? I would like a first and last name, if you can trouble yourself for it. Jane, you are so welcome. I believe Jane was the person that requested this theme, and I love it. So, power to anyone that wants to request Austin. As I said, I would prefer a first and a last name. Okay, question not 11. It's time for our special mid-round game. I have no confidence. I have zero confidence that what I'm about to do is going to work. But if you're game to follow me on this journey, we will try. It is to win a Netherworld pin. Obviously, there are a million pins associated with the Netherworld, but this particular pin, which I normally have on me, but is somewhere else, and I will find one for you, is the pin that you get if you win trivia. And so it's a special pin because you have to win trivia to get it. However, we are giving away some for games and things like that on Netherworld Twitch Trivia. So, our special mid-round game, I do have one in my bag over there. Oh, thank you, Ben. Here is the special pin. It's a Mike Wazowski brain. I'll hold it up to the camera. That is what you are playing to win for this game. Basically, I'm going to do something, and then you are going to quickly message me on Instagram and the fastest answer will get the pin. So get out your Instagrams, get out your phones. I realize that I won't be able to check everything instantly, but I will be able to see who messaged first. So for this game, I'm going to try something that I normally do in person when we're doing live trivia. I'm going to do some charades. It's a game of charades. We'll just see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay. First person to message me the answer will win the Netherworld pin. So, not part of it. Our swamp monster. That's right, it was just the helmet, he's alive. Anyway, where were we? Okay, yeah, fifth word. 3 syllables. First syllable of the 3 syllables of the 5th word. Sounds like sock. I regret this so much. Okay. Fourth word. Sounds like all right, that's all you get for the moment. I'm going to check if anyone got it right. And if you haven't, I will do some more movements next round. Thanks for indulging me. Apart from the fact that I almost killed the swamp monster, it kind of worked maybe. Oh, look, yes, I have some accurate guesses, so I'll have to take a look at who got there first in a second, but we'll move on to the next question first. Question 11. Of the below, which Muppet movie was released first? A. The Muppets Take Manhattan. B. The Great Muppet Caper. C. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Or D. The Muppets. Ben makes a great point that I was not socially distant with that monster, but he doesn't know that we've been sharing a bubble for quite some time. This was what we lost. This is what we fell over. All right. Oh, what a bloody banger. I think we're good with this one, or at least Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem is. I promise not to do any more charades so we can bring the swamp monster back, Ben. Alright, so 1 and 4, have a guess. Question 12. Okay, hold up about question 12. Even though you guys do not deserve another Doctor Who question because of the ruckus that was caused last week, and I still maintain my innocence, I have given you another Doctor Who question because we had a few requests for one. So, let's pray together before we ask this one. What are the exact words written above the doors of the TARDIS? I do want you to do your best reading left to right to tell me exactly the order that they are in. So reading left to right, do your worst. Great clarification on the chat. No, I don't need the words that are on the door, just the words that are on the band at the top of the TARDIS. Alright, I'm definitely going to do damage keeping that on. I note that Ben is very quick to distance himself from my Doctor Who questions. And you know what? That's okay. I'm a strong, independent woman and I will stand by my victories and my mistakes. But last week's Doctor Who question wasn't in fact a mistake. I think we can all agree. Okay, I'm going to move us on. Question 13. What or who connects these three films? That's question 13. You're so welcome for the song, by the way. How else are we doing? I know that Ben's all over question 13, but does anybody else feel confident? I need a few teams to know it before I give hints. I can confirm just on the charades front that somebody did get the right answer to me. A few people did, but I have worked out who was first, and I will tell you when we do answers. And don't worry, to those that I'm not friends with on Instagram, I am checking the message requests as well, so I do see you there. Alright, we got plenty of confidence in the chat for question 13. Jazzpaz is not sure. I'll leave it up for another 10 seconds. Have a cheeky think. All right, what or who? Gonna move us on. Take a guess. Take a screenshot, take whatever you want, take a pill, take time to yourself during isolation. Question 14. For 2 points, in which two films did Bruce Willis play a time-traveling criminal? For those of you who have just joined us or took a little bit of time to set up your Twitch/Discord/whatever settings, I will just race through the questions at the end of the round, so anything that you missed from round one you can catch up on. This one's worth 2 points. I'll give you a point per film. I will say that I was sent a lot of Instagram messages with guesses of films with only 2 or 3 words in the title, so I realised that when the pressure is on, it's hard to think straight. Oh, I just realised something. Nothing too important at all, except it's thrilling to me. I had some big news in the last week. I got a new phone case. and I got the phone case that I have wanted to get for months and months and months, and now I have it, and I feel like I'm truly represented, and I know you don't care, but just indulge me. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera. Hopefully we can see. That is one CJ Craig, everybody. Press secretary of our dreams. Thank you for indulging me. That's enough time to deal with Bruce. I'm gonna move us on. And the next one is an AV question, so I'm gonna have to just stop Old Savage Garden for a moment, sorry. Ooh, I'm glad there's some love for the phone case. I got it where you'd expect. I got it at Redbubble. I think it was Redbubble. It was like $35, and it will change your life for the better, seeing Alice and Jani's face every morning. Okay, moving us on. Question 15. Let's watch a little scene. I know that a bunch of people have requested Seinfeld over the last few weeks, and for those who don't care about Seinfeld, and I don't think there's going to be many of you, I'm sorry, this might seem a bit hard and specific, but I'm sure the hardcore fans will have an idea of what this is. Let's watch the video.
We have got you in a very nice hotel. I don't know how you like to work, but I can arrange for an office if you like.
I work in hotel. It's better. Away from all your little petty bickerings and interference.
You know, Tolstoy used to write in the village square. The faces inspired him.
He did not need inspiration. God spoke through his pen.
That is so true. Although, one wonders if War and Peace would have been as highly acclaimed as it was had it been published under its original title.
I am sorry, the background music was playing. I double clicked it. I'm going to play the video again with no background music.
We have got you in a very nice hotel. I don't know how you like to work, but I can arrange for an office if you like.
I work in hotel. It's better. Away from all your little petty bickerings and interference.
You know, Tolstoy used to write in the village square. The faces inspired him.
He did not need inspiration. God spoke through his pen.
That is so true.
Yes.
Although, one wonders if War and Peace would have been as highly acclaimed as it was had it been published under its original title.
Oh, I love it so much. The question, according to Elaine, what was the original title of War and Peace? I am sorry to those who don't care about Seinfeld. I know that will seem particularly specific, but I am confident of the people playing that there are some who know this. Let me know how we're going with this. Is this just super hard, or do we have some people all over it? I love that 6 people stopped watching when we started playing Closing Time. I want a confirmation. I want a confirmation. Tell me, somebody who knows the answer to this. Copy that. I will reduce the music volume. Sorry, it's a bit loud. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, Russell Crowe has got it. Vin Diesel has got it. Super Nintendos have got it. Very nice. A few other teams. I'm still learning whose handle connects to which team, so feel free to just sporadically tell me what teams you're on. Let's move on. I think it's time to move on. Question 16. During the post-credits scene in the movie The Avengers, What dish are the superheroes enjoying together? Alright, thank you, totally effable aliens. I'm hoping that if you don't care about Marvel or the Avengers, you can take a guess. It's a famous dish in one particular country, and it's become quite famous elsewhere. Yes, I am aware that the date is from last week, and we had that issue before as well. And it's probably something I need to change, but if it's not bothering you guys, it's not bothering me. I'll look into how not to time travel next week. Although maybe it's kind of fun. Maybe it's good to feel like we're in the past. I'm going to move us on to question 17. Who is the first character you meet in the original Animal Crossing? Is it A. Hopper, B. Rover, C. Mr. Rossetti, or D. Booker? All but the B Sharps, great team name, have got that one, and they have joined the chat to let us know that they have it. Welcome to the chat, B Sharps. Yes, and a good reminder to, if you've just joined us, stop answering in the chat. We will answer on our own sheets, and then we'll submit our scores in the chat and on our online forms, but we'll only broadly discuss questions in the chat. I did do another Animal Crossing question because we had several requests for one. I hope you got it. A, B, C, or D, Hopper, Rover, Rossetti, or Booker. I'm going to move on. Question 18. How many of the 7 dwarves had mustaches? I have given you a helpful visual aid to remind you how, you know how many there are, but who they are and what their bottom halves look like. How many had a cheeky mo? That is the question. Oh, Kat, thank you from Lemon Stealing Whores. We do need to work out the comic theme. I need you all to keep me on my toes. We're at question 18. We need to work out what the comic theme is for tonight. Obviously, we know it's coronavirus related because all of our themes have been somewhat COVID related because that's what's happening in the news at the moment, which is our regular criteria. I thought about this actually, you let me know if you have any ideas, but I was thinking we could do maybe the tracking app, or we could do restrictions starting to lift, but I always throw this out to you guys, so let me know if you have any ideas for our comic theme. We just need to, it has to be something in the news in the last week, and yes, it can be COVID related because it's probably going to be hard to avoid that. Question from Guinness Guy on the chat. Does any facial hair count or only under the nose? I do want mustache specifically. I'm not talking about beards, it's how many have a mustache. I love that. Malt QT, the theme is answers in the chat. That could be the theme. That's niche, but we are a niche trivia. Drinking bleach, that's a good theme. Jacinda Ardern, just broadly Jacinda Ardern. Oh, I love that. We've not done Jacinda Ardern, and she definitely is the hero we need. New Zealand taking over Australia is also a great theme. Kim Jong-un in hospital. Oh, these are good. Okay. Because I quite like to see the variety of responses, sometimes I do just let you have a free-for-all. So, for this week's comic theme, I'll let you go to town. You can do what you want. Obviously, there's going to be big ones like the app and bleach drinking and eating disinfectant and all the things that are happening in the world this week. But I'll let you get creative and decide what your own theme is this week. It just has to be relevant to the news, and it has to, this is the big important one for the newbies, it has to include monsters and a caption. It includes monsters because the Netherworld is a shrine and home to monsters, and otherwise just go to town. But secretly, I'd really like to see some Jacinda Ardern content in there. Don't stress on scribbling this out too fast because you have until the end of round 2 to finish your comic. You do need to, when you are finished, you need to upload it to Instagram. You can either tag me in your story or you can send me a private message if you don't want to post your art in your story. That's fair. And I'll post up the Instagram handle again soon. So our comic theme is a free-for-all this week, although we did have good suggestions of Jacinda Ardern and the tracking app and drinking bleach / disinfectant. And if you would like to write or draw a comic rather, that's about not answering in the chat, by all means follow that instinct because we love deep, weird specificity here. And I'm going to move us on to question 19. Which logo is correct, A or B? $50-50, throw up the proverbial coin, mate. Because question 20 is just around the corner. Cow's Knight said it's a left of field question, and it might seem that way, but our Netherworld regulars know that I do include logos, marketing, and advertising broadly underneath the pop culture banner, just because we realised that it was fun to ask about logos one day, and so we decided to include it. But I'm glad you love it. Alright, question 20. Which two of these is not a real Grug book? This is our last question for round 1. A. Grug and his kite. B. Grug builds a bike. C. Grug learns to dance. D. Grug meets a dinosaur. And E. Grug goes to schoolies. Which two are not real Grug books? This is worth 2 points. I do need you to write down 2 letters to get 2 points. And we're coming up on, well, in fact, we're here. We've arrived at the end of round 1. So that means our Nicolas Cage question is imminent. For those of you who haven't played before, the Nicolas Cage, which you might notice behind me, is something that we do when we are in venue doing trivia. I hide something in the cage, and then each round I give you some cryptic clues to work out what is inside. you know broadly what the theme is. This week it's a movie, so we're gonna be trying to guess a movie. However, the clues that I give you aren't necessarily literal. Sometimes they can be pretty left of center, and I'm not gonna give you much context for what they mean. You just have to sort of think laterally. A key thing to remember is that it doesn't have to be Nicolas Cage related. That's important. Now, there's going to be 2 clues, one at the end of round 1, one at the end of round 2. If your team works it out at the end of round 1, you will get 5 points for working it out that soon. If you work it out at the end of round 2, it's worth 3 points. So this one is important if you have your eyes on the top of the ladder. Now, of course, those who have been playing Netherworld Twitch Trivia for the last 6 weeks will also know there's an additional element where you, as an individual, can play and message me on Instagram what your personal guess is, and the first personal guess that's correct that comes through will also win one of our Netherworld Trivia pins. So, hopefully we've got that straight. We are going to guess a movie. I'm going to show you your first clue. It can be pretty abstract, so don't come at me with questions in the chat because I'm not going to contextualize it for you. You just have to think outside the cage, as it were. And the first person to message me the correct answer on Instagram will win a very special Netherworld pin. However, even if you don't get it to me first, if your team gets it right at the end of round 1, it is worth 5 points. Let's do this, baby. All right, here we go. First clue. Just a reminder, we are guessing a movie. We are guessing a movie. The theme of the Nicolas Cage is important to remember. We are not guessing a character, even though many people have messaged me character guesses. Whilst you're all having a think about this is your time, teams, to finalize your questions, finalize your answers for the first 20 questions. I am about to scoot back and go through them really, really quickly for the people that missed the start. Ooh, I can confirm I have received a winning guess on Instagram. So feel free to keep messaging me, but I do have a guess that is correct from someone who got it in clearly first. However, just because they have won the pin, and I will reveal their names later, you still need to work out what it is with your team, because if you make the guess at the end of round 1, it is worth 5 points. For the people that weren't here before, let me just quickly scoot back. I'm going to show you the first few questions because I know some people popped in late. Here we go. I'm not going to spend too long. On these slides, so eyes up if you need them. That's question 2. Question 3. Question 4 is our spell/energy drinks. I'm not going to play question 5 again because that's just how it is. Oh, thank you, Beer Angel. Beer Fairy, I should say. Question 6 was our Amazon list. Our subjective 7, what was the best film of 2015? Can't wait to see what you say. Our Wet Bandits question. Our Dave Grohl question. We're up to question 14 for the people who are just trying to catch up. I know I'm scooching through them quickly, but hopefully you can get an idea if you have vague memories of them. Question 15 was our Seinfeld question. 16 Hour Avengers, Animal Crossing for 17, 7 dwarves and their mustaches, our Subway logo, and our Grug book that was not actually a Grug book, and there's 2. Here is the clue for Nicolas Cage. Just to reiterate, I do have the right answer. Somebody has got the right answer to me. Very nicely done. But still make a guess with your team because it is worth 5 points. Yes, it is. Which means we're up to answers. So, scribes, quickly scribble in anything that you haven't written yet, anything you've left blank. I'm about to glide through answers, and then we'll have a very quick wee and beer from the fridge break. Won't be long before starting round 2. Just a reminder, you can do whatever you want for the theme this week for the comics. We're doing a free-for-all, and you have until the end of round 2. Okay, that's enough chat. We're going to do answers. Prepare your minds and your loins. Oh, thank you for asking, Echidna, my favorite thank you bus driver, Echidna. I just cracked the Grifter Shandy, which the lovely Benjamin fetched from the Netherworld bar. It is 3.5%, and it's bloody great. That is a refreshing drink. Here come answers. It's of course C, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is mad for Warhammer and stuff that we love. Question 2. Aziraphale and Crowley are the names. They are from Good Omens. I'm going to give you 2 points. 1 point for Aziraphale, 1 point for Crowley. If you couldn't remember their names, but you did know that they were the characters from Good Omens, I'll give you a half point for Good Omens. Half point for Good Omens if you didn't write down Aziraphale or Crowley. Question 3. Heart, skin, shoulders. Remember to let her into your heart. The minute you let her under your skin. Don't carry the world on your shoulders. That didn't work, but you get the idea. I hope you got 3. It is worth 3 points. Question 4. Ooh, 7 points. I shit you not. This one's a big one. Number 1, Elemental Fury was a spell. Star Blast, an energy drink. Pure Silver Zero, an energy drink. Efflorescence, a spell, believe it or not. Green Storm, an energy drink. Shred, a spell. Life Bloom, a spell. A few druid spells in there. Ooh, I'm having some World of Warcraft. Sorry? Fascinating. Some World of Warcraft fans have confirmed that Star Blast is also a World of Warcraft spell, and the moderator Ben has confirmed that it's correct. So, very well done. If you wrote energy drink or spell for Star Blast, you get a point because it is in fact both. I will always trust the Mind Hive. Oh, except we've got some pushback in the chat about the Star Blast being a spell. However, I am happy to land on the moderator Ben's research because he is our guy behind the scenes who is checking the facts when people challenge me. That is worth 7 points. I'm not going to give 2 points for saying both because actually, you know what? Yes, I am making it up on the fly. If you said both for Star Blast, have 2 points and enjoy them. Question 5. It's 2008. T.I., Pink, Katy Perry, all those songs came out in 2008. Definitely pushing back from Steve. It is not the new Doctor Who question. Thank you very much. Don't tape this beautiful question. Question 6. It was Connect 4. Amazing, because this is our front and center prop. It is C, Connect 4. Question 7, Mad Max Fury Road. Of course it's Mad Max Fury Road. And I understand some of you might have said Star Wars Force Awakens, but it is not, in fact, a more knockout film than Mad Max Fury Road. Although I am a huge Star Wars fan, I don't think we can dispute this, even though I know some of you are about to. Creed is a good guess because I used the word knockout, but as I said, the knockout was to evoke a feeling, not to be super literal. No, I that's why I told you. I know a bunch of you said Creed, but as I said, don't take the word knockout that literally. I was just trying to use an adjective that wasn't best, great, good, or anything else boring like that. And you know what? It is subjective, and let's just all take a deep breath and move on. Who said Mad Max Fury Road? Please let me know who got it. Scott in Canada wants to riot. Well, you know what? Who are you going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to join your riot, Scott? Tell me that. Oh, good. Some people said Mad Max Fury Road. I did tell you not to take knockout literally. That's all I'm saying. Question 8. It is 1C, 2A, 3B, 4D. That's worth 4 points. You did have to connect the right numbers and letters to get the 4 points. So, shot in the groin by a BB gun. That's the first one. Then hit in the face with a heated iron. This is obviously happening to each of them, but this is the order. Then the hand is burned, and then the shoe and the tar and the nail happens. 4 possible 4 points there. 1C, 2A, 3B, 4D. I know that one. This one was a pretty tricky one. This was some pretty niche need to know Home Alone stuff, but I hope some of us got some points on the board. I'll leave it up for a hot second more. Oh, is everyone enjoying Seal, by the way? I think I need to bring some dance to this playlist, to this 90s playlist. Okay, question 9. It's the Foo Fighters. B, the Foo Fighters. Question 10. Jane Bennett. If you said Jane Bingley, that's technically correct as well. If you just guessed Pride and Prejudice, but you didn't know it was Jane Bennett, you can have a half point for Pride and Prejudice. And I know that some people thought that answers were happening in the chat, but it was actually just because somebody's team name was called Jane and the Gin. And so that's what was going on. It was very innocent. I just didn't want to say because it gave the game away. And for the person who was Jazz Paz who's concerned about the royalty, the non-royalty free music, you're quite right. It's definitely not royalty free, but we're sliding under the radar here. Wait. Charade game. Thank you for playing along. I'll do it again if you want, and I definitely won't do it again if it was a traumatic experience for you. But the person who fair and square got the answer to me first, let me just go to my screenshot. The answer, of course, was Hunt for Red October, The Hunt for Red October. I was trying to go, sounds like sock, toe, all of that. The Swamp Monster died because of it. Our first Hunt for Red October that came through was from one Paul Daniels, Paul_Daniels, who I believe is of Team Beyonce Know-Alls. So Paul, I'll send you a message and we'll work out a way to get a Netherworld pin to you. Excellent charading, my friend. And we move on. Question 11. The Great Muppet Caper is the first of those Muppet movies to be released. B. The Great Muppet Caper. Question 12. Police public call box. Police public call box for the full point. If you said that but in a different order, you can have a half point. I wanted police public call box for the full point. Come at me, Doctor Who fans. I am ready for you. Who's the best companion? I hear someone say on the chat. That's a great subjective 7 question. Question 13. Danny Elfman scored them all. Well done if you got that. Danny Elfman is the thing that connects, the person that connects all of these films. He scored them all. Good on ya, Danny Elfman. Question 14. 12 Monkeys and Looper. 1 point for 12 Monkeys, 1 point for Looper. EEJ on the chat. If we said score, can we have a half point? Yes. If you indicated that the scores were all done by the same person, but you didn't know it was Danny Elfman, then you can have a half point for that, I think. Fair and square. Question 15. Let's listen to it, I think. Let's listen.
That is so true. Although, one wonders if War and Peace would have been as highly acclaimed as it was had it been published under its original title, War, What Is It Good For?
The answer is War, What Is It Good For? Very well done to our keen Seinfeld fans for getting that one. I know some of you will have. Question 16. It's shawarma. The Avengers get together at the end and go to a shawarma joint. Phonetically, it still counts. You don't need to spell it properly. Well done if you got it. Question 17 was B, Rover. You meet Rover the cat on the train, and Rover helps you set up your profile. It is Rover. I realized the Guinness guy said all of those 3 movies from before are also distributed by Sony. I know that often when you ask for links, you can find many links, but it's always the link that I want. And that might seem unfair, but that's just the way it is. Although I do love your endlessly specific knowledge of movies. Question 18. None of them have mustaches. I'm sorry for being devious. None of them at all. The Guinness guy, how subjective is this? I love you. It's only 1.5 questions subjective. Sneezy might look like he has a mustache, but that's just his finger. Question 19, it was B. The way is actually yellow on the Subway logo. And question 20 is, of course, E, Grug goes to schoolies, not a real thing. And B, Grug builds a bike, is also not real. I believe there's one that's like Grug and his bicycle, but builds a bike is not real. So if you said B and E, you can have 2 points. I'm not going to tell you what the Nicolas Cage is, obviously, until the end. So just make sure you write on your sheet if you've decided to guess at the end of round 1. And the time has come now to add up your round 1 scores. Although we aren't submitting the round 1 scores to the final form yet, do post them in the chat so we have a sense of how our teams are going and who we're in competition with. We're going to go on a hot 7-minute break just for everyone to take a piss and fill up their wine and keep working on your comics. I think that's an important one. Keep working on the comics whilst we're gone.
more time.
I feel like I've been locked up tight for a century of lonely nights, waiting for someone to release me. You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away, baby, baby, baby. My body's saying let's go, but my heart is saying no. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. You gotta make a big impression. Gotta like what you do. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. You gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come on and let me out. The music's banging and the lights down low. Just one more dance and then we're good to go. Waiting for someone who needs me. Hormones racing at the speed of light, but that don't mean it's gotta be tonight, baby, 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 baby. My body's saying let's go, but my heart's saying no. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta love me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. Just come and set me free, baby, and I'll be with you. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. You gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come on and let me out. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come on and let me out. My body's saying let's go, but my heart is saying no, no. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. You gotta make a big impression. Gotta like what you do. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. Just come and set me free.
Oh, we're back. We're back. I got a message from someone sending me a little picture of a Subway logo where the yellow bit was on the sub. And I suppose, like all asset suites for businesses, they change up different colors. However, there is overwhelmingly a more correct, or rather more official version of the Subway logo in terms of what's on all the stores, and that was the one that we said. So thank you for the message, but I'm going to stand strong with the Subway. Alrighty, let's move on. Round 2. Question 21, let's do it. Not including the, which word appears the most in Bond film titles? Do a little scratch pad, make a list, tell me which word appears the most in Bond film titles, not including the word the. Thank you to Ecstatic Echidna for updating us on your drinking situation. You're now cracking into a Newstead Golden Lager. I do love that everyone tends to have a very local tasting beer. Tell me the word. that appears most often in the Bond film titles, please? I've just had some very special news, which didn't get to me in time to make the Netherworld notice board, but we are about to make it relevant now. M of Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem is having a birthday this Friday, which is thrilling. And for those who don't normally come to Netherworld Trivia, we have a tradition of singing happy birthday to those that have birthdays. So I would like us all now, I'll pause Destiny's Child just for one quick second. Let us all now do a quick caroling chorus of happy birthday for M. Happy birthday to you, M. I know if you're not singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear M of Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem. Happy birthday to you. Oh, just with my voice. Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. Let's move on. Question 22. What is the blacked out word in the Catan game's tagline? You can have a look at it. I've got trade, I've got build, and I have one word that I have blacked out. Thank you to the person on the chat that realized I did a Harry Potter reference in my singing. I appreciate you. Scott from Canada, trade, build, fuck. That is what the tagline should be, and it's probably more accurate. However, it's not actually the answer. Let's bring Destiny's Child back, I think. You've had enough of my singing for one night. Alright, let's move on. Question 22, or rather 23. It is worth 4 points, and I would like, this is a special shout out to all the teachers out there, and I know some of you are teachers. Thank you for trying to teach teenagers and under 10-year-olds online. Please identify the 4 TV shows and movies based on the principles. There's a couple of films and a couple of TV shows. Alright, hopefully we're doing pretty well on this principal question. Grace, your Bond question in the chat. Include all of the official run Bond films. all of, I would say we're talking all official run Bond. I'm just definitely double checking that.
Doesn't include the ones that you could include when video.
And Ben makes a great point to me now, off camera, that even the ones that you're thinking of, it doesn't change the answer, so it's irrelevant. That's also a good point from Ben, although it's a great question, and I welcome your clarifications always. Scott from Canada, always with the helpful questions. What about any Bond fan fiction that has been officially recognised as canon? I think I'm going to let you follow your heart on that one, Scott. And we're going to move on. Question 24. In the show Riverdale, what is the name of the Riverdale High School's football team? Is it the Riverdale Ravens, the Riverdale Tigers, the Riverdale Bulldogs, or the Riverdale Beavers? I hope the team who requested Riverdale is playing this evening. If you're new and you're wondering how people have been requesting all these themes, you do it on the Google form where you submit your final score. So there's a little section at the end that says theme requests, and you can just go to town. You can request thousands of things. Of course, I'll probably only choose one or two from each team, but I will do my best. Choose one. It's multiple choice. It's Riverdale. I admit I haven't seen much of Riverdale myself, so this is one of those things that I just kind of read a few articles about, but I hear it's good. I hear it's good. Question 25. Let's have a look at this very cool thing. Somebody sent this to me this week. A guy in Brisbane was missing one of his venues, his favorite Brisbane venue, and so he decided to create it in Minecraft. I'm going to play the video he created, and you have to guess what Brisbane venue it is based on the Minecraft recreation. Let's have a look. Okay. I probably won't play that again unless you really want me to. Actually, no, I will. That's unfair. I'll play it again. One more time. Yes, sorry, I know that I was on mute. I was intentionally on mute because I needed to discuss important back channel information with Ben, but thank you for letting me know. I should have warned you I was intentionally muting myself. Let's move on. Question 26. Name this classic children's book from the cover. Psych, I muted myself again intentionally. Who knows question 26? Do we feel the rush of nostalgia with this one? I'm sorry, I did mute myself again intentionally. Ben and I are having secret chats, which only concerns the betterment of your future and things that are need to know, but you don't need to know right in this second. Oh, very nice. A few people do remember this. Aliens have got it. JLo was back. We're all in a happy place. Just in case, I wanted to clarify something on the James Bond question. I am including films that may or may not have come out yet. Just FYI. And we're going to move on. Question 27. Identify the film character from their promotional Barbie doll. Seeing as we are violently thwarting the copyright-free laws, does anyone have any song requests? Russell Crowe wants sad country music. No, I will not play sad country music. Even though I'm a country fan, believe it or not. Shooting Star is a great one. Let's cue that up. Or Shining Star, I think you mean, isn't it? Shining Star? Alright, let's move us on. Actually, wait, let me know. Is question 27 in the bag? Are we good here? Are we good with question 27? I think it's a little bit subtle. It could go either way. It could go a few ways, I think. I'm hoping that if you put it in context, you could maybe make an educated guess on that one. Someone thinks they've got it and they're upset because they've got it, and that in itself is a hint. Hopefully you're still working on your comics. It is a COVID-themed monster comic. You do have until the end of this round to get it to me, though. Oh, very nice. Culture Vultures have it. And I think what I said about someone being ashamed has confirmed it for a few other people. The Pop Cultures have it as well. Very nice. Let's move us on. Question 28. In 1908, the film, and forgive my French, I don't know. I just don't know. Feel free to try and pronounce that. Send me a voice recording and I will include it in next week's trivia if you speak French. Anyway, I want you to tell me, in 1908, this film became the world's first what? The answer is not film. I'll tell you that much for free. It became the world's first what in 1908? I forgot to make mention of some of the team scores for round one, but I think if memory serves me correctly, Team Russell Crowe is currently tying in first place with Vin Diesel on 30 points. I think that was the highest point scores that I saw. But generally it looked like everyone did pretty well round one. Everyone was in the 20s or close to it. Has anyone got a good guess for question 28? I mean, this is just we're in an educated guess territory for 28. Unless you have particularly read this bit of niche pop culture trivia, we're definitely an educated guess. Ooh, Grace, Vin Diesel have got it. The Culture Vultures have it. Russell Crowe may have it. Other people are just guessing, and that's what I like to hear. Question 29, we'll move on. What is the name of the camp in Friday the 13th? Is it A, Camp Quiet Lake? Is it B, Camp Crystal Lake? Is it C, Camp Silent Lake? Or D, Camp Timberlake? Like Justin. Oh, I'm getting pushed back. Some people want some hard horror. I can do hard horror if you want. I just don't want to alienate people. No, I'm showing my bias there. I'm not as into horror as some people say I should be. But I will write you a hard horror question if you want to request it this week. Oh, that's a great idea. 2-Bit Movie Club horror trivia. The gentlemen that are perfectly primed to ask about horror. Speaking of 2-Bit Movie Club, actually, we have, of course, another 2-Bit Movie night happening on the streams on Friday at 7 p.m. Ben and Ben, the beautiful gentlemen of 2-Bit Movie, are doing another time machine where they go and put together clips from an era long gone. This one's not so long gone. On Friday they are doing the best Australian clips, or what they call the best Australian clips of 1996. So they've gone and curated these amazing clips from Australian TV from the year 1996. They are going to be playing it in a sort of like streamed online film festival on Friday night from within the venue. It's going to be excellent. If you, like me, tuned into the film score DJ set last Friday, it was emotional, and I'm sure they will bring the goods again this Friday. All right, question 30. Discover the diva from the diva do. Forgive my alliteration, I couldn't help it, and neither could you. I want to know who these famous musicians are. Even though I've used the word diva, it's just because that's common parlance. I do broadly take issue with the fact that female pop artists are called divas and male artists are called rock stars. Even the ones that don't play rock. What is it? Let's delve into that. But at a later date. Please identify these 4 divas based on their hair, even though they're all much more than their hair. gonna turn this up slightly because it is a great song. Someone's brought up the Beatles in the chat. Perfect example. Nobody calls the Beatles divas, but they were pop musicians. So, I don't know. But maybe the word diva can be reclaimed. Let's turn Netherworld trivia into a weekly feminist lecture. It is worth 4 points, so it's worth thinking about. Question 31. After the opening scene of the pilot episode of Breaking Bad, the story flashes back a number of weeks. I want to know how many weeks it flashes back. Is it A1, B3, C6, or D9? We're getting requests for a Mad Men question. I can definitely do that. If you can remember, try to put your theme requests in the final form because I love hearing them on chat, but I tend to forget them when they've been requested in chat, just because I don't always have access to it. So, put Mad Men in the theme request box and I will deliver. Ooh, some pushback on the Mad Men. Good TV shows only. Oh, you're not saying that Mad Men isn't good, you're just saying that I shouldn't do Lost. I know some people will come after me with spears, but I do agree with you on the Lost thing. Okay, moving on, question 32. Moonbathing is a favourite pastime of which fictional family? I know I'm not appealing to the audience by revealing my true feelings about Lost. And I admit, I can't accurately say my opinion because I actually haven't seen all of it, so I take it back. Alright, 32. Tell me about the Moonbathers. I think I saw that a couple of people missed some answers from the first round, but if you just send me a message again to remind me that you did, I can, at the end of the night, I'll just send you the answers separately so that you can mark your sheets. Alright, question 33. Okay, this might not seem pop culture related, but it is under the umbrella of products, logos, advertising, and it was a requested theme, so good luck. Identify the 3 flavors of Magic Cup noodles from the packaging. It is worth 3 points, so nothing to sniff at. For those of you still debating Lost in the chat, I will say part of the reason Lost was ruined for me was in one of my first ever uni lectures, the film historian who was doing the lecture ruined the ending of Lost in the first 5 minutes before I'd seen any of it, with very little tact or awareness, and it did kind of kill the Lost boner for me. You cannot bait me into ruining somebody else's journey, Ben. I will not share the ending. Anyone got B for question 33? B's the tricky one. Oh, very nice. Russell Crowe has got B. Alright, moving us on to question 34. Ooh, this is a 4-pointer. Match the superhero film to their Rotten Tomatoes ranking. So, we have Avengers Endgame, Wonder Woman as in the 2007 Gal Gadot one, The Dark Knight Rises, and Thor the Dark World. There are 4 films. The 4 tomato ratings that we have to match them to, we have a 66%, we have an 87%, we have a 94%, and a 93%. Get debating. We want an accurate match 4 times over to get the 4 points. Alright, Zabotics in the chat have a good guess on this one. I truly regret bringing up Lost. I know it's divisive. Actually, I don't really regret it. How about I do a Lost question next week to curry some favour to the people I've scorned? Now, I will say, I know that when you go onto Rotten Tomatoes, there is an audience review, and then there's the tomato meter, which is like the official score, which weights out the audience review with the critics review. I'm after the tomato meter. I'm not after the audience review, which is often higher. The critics tend to bring it down. So we're after the official tomato meter when you factor in the 2 elements. Somebody wants to go back to Magi because they were too busy defending Lost. Well, quite frankly, that is on you. No, I will flick back to Magi for a second. But in a little bit after people have had enough time with the Rotten Tomatoes question. We have 6 questions to go, so people who are drawing comics, the time is now to start thinking about finishing them off. Can I get some more theme requests? I'm not loving this playlist direction. I am, just for that person on chat, going back to the Magi Cup noodles for a second because my sparking of the Lost debate distracted a few people. Alright, take a snapshot. Moving back to 34. I'm going to have 10 seconds more on this question and then we'll move on. Someone has requested Oasis Wonderwall, so do not blame me. Alright, we're going to move on to question 35. Let's do it. Okay, so this one I might get yelled at for being a bit too niche. However, I'm hoping... In fact, I know that there's a lot of avid gamers in the Netherworld regular crowd, and I'm hoping it's a walk in the park for you. I want you to identify the 4 gaming consoles from an audio mashup of their startup signs. I will admit that some of the audio is going to be a bit dirty and a bit old because a lot of the recordings are a bit old, so forgive me on that, and I will play it a few times. You might need to just kill whatever background noise you have going on in your houses and apartments. Let's have a listen. These are all gaming console startup sounds, and I do want specificity here. Alright, don't worry, it's coming again. It's coming at you again. Alrighty. I am going to play it at least one more time, maximum 2 more times. Somebody is saying that they're too old for this, but I will say that a couple of them are quite old. And I'm hoping that even if this isn't sparking any kind of memory nerves for you, that you can just guess 4 gaming consoles and be somewhere in the park. Remember Nacho the cat, the adorable ginger cat from our Netherworld notice ball a couple of weeks ago? Apparently the first sound is traumatizing Nacho. Alright, I'm going to move on unless anybody wants that really desperately one more time, and I will do it. But I've got some confidence in the chat, so if we're good, I'm gonna move on to the next question. One more. All right, one more time. Here's the last time. This is the last time. Here we go. I'm sorry to those wearing headphones that the first one was quote-unquote smashing your ear holes. I should have given you a warning. If only I knew. Okay, that's the last time. I'm going to move us on. Thank you to the person who requested this great song. Feel free to send me some song requests now that we are blatantly thwarting the rules. Question 36. What color is the stripe on Helga's dress from Hey Arnold? Tell me the color of Helga's dress stripe. I am going to move us on to question 37. The title of which Destiny's Child song was added to the Oxford English Dictionary in 2004? I should have a Destiny's Child song queued up, but I don't really want to give anything away. So you tell me, what Destiny's Child song then became a word added to the Oxford English Dictionary in 2004? Ooh, we've got some requests for some Credence. I've always got time for Credence. Do you have a specific song you would like, Asatic Echidna? Thank you to those who are sending in their comics. They are particularly exceptional this week. You've still got time though. You've still got a good 10 minutes. Who's feeling good about 37? Can we move on? Alright, moving us on. Question 38. Who has been cast to play Dominic Toretto's brother in Fast and the Furious 9? If anyone knows me, they'll know I am a major sucker for the Fast and Furious franchise. Please tell me who has been cast and has probably already played, because it's shot, Dominic Toretto, aka Vin Diesel's brother in Fast and Furious 9. R.I.P. Paul Walker. I love you forever. Thankfully, the team Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem are all over this one. Britt thinks it's a trick question. Oh, it is. They're all family. Brilliant. 10 out of 10, Britt. Okay. Let me know. Moving us on. Question 39. Who's this TV character? I would like the name of the character. If you can't remember the name, tell me the show that the character is from. Hey, a half point is nothing to snooze at. Saints Main. The weekly insecurity of trying to guess how to pronounce all of your Twitch handle. Feel free to give me detailed instructions in the chat. Nailed it originally. Alright, Saints Main. I should be more confident, more sure of myself. I'm going to move on to our last question of the night. I'm going to assume that a few of you know this one, or at least know the show. Here comes our last question, question 40. Is Dagstorp a metal album, a sofa from IKEA, or a character from The Witcher? You got 3 options. Take a guess. This is your last question of the night. Of course, there is one more Nicolas Cage clue coming.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street.
Okay, that is our final question. So, here comes our last Nicolas Cage clue. Just to reiterate, somebody has guessed it correctly, so you don't need to message me your guesses. But if you haven't guessed already, now is your time. If you get it at the end of round 2, it is worth 3 points. Here is our second clue. Reminder, we are guessing a movie. Here's our last clue. Good luck. Keep in mind our first clue. And thank you to everyone who are sending in their comics right now. You have probably maximum 5 minutes to finish them off and send them so that we can judge them. The comic competition is worth a $30 venue voucher if you win, so it's the real stuff. It's important. Okay. Have a guess. Scribes and teams, the time is now to debate together if you want to change anything for round 2. The points are pretty close this week, so you might want to tussle it out over the last couple of things. We're about to do answers. I'm just going to pop us on standby for one hot second for reasons that will become abundantly clear in a moment. Whilst we're on standby, please finalize your final guesses. Sorry? No, I'm changing the bottom question. Just because I had that realization of like, oh, I can just go into standby. And no one was any of the wiser. I don't know how to change the date. Is it? Fuck me. My not so subtle change because the mic was still on. I'm a classy operator, as you should well know. My aim is ultimate transparency, as you all know. Alright, the time has come. It is time for answers. Scribes at the ready. I know some people missed the answers last time, and I can send them to you. But here we go. This was what I was changing to die because we think that we should include the film that hasn't come out yet. Die is the answer we want. Question 22. Of course it is settle. It was settle. Question 23, Back to the Future, King of the Hill, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and School of Rock. We've had a question on chat, what was question 31 and question 32. I'll just quickly verbally say it because we won't go back. So question 31 was the Breaking Bad question about how many weeks did the pilot episode flash back to, 1, 3, 6 or 9. And question 32 was the moonbathing question, what fictional character likes moonbathing? Alright, moving on to the current questions. Question 24. Riverdale Bulldogs. I promise to give Riverdale a try if you tell me to. Question 25. Black Bear Lodge. And shout out to the Brisbane guy who did that Minecraft walkthrough. That was incredible. Question 26. Animalia by Graham Bass. Deep nostalgia with this one. Question 27, it was Bella Swan. Well done if you got it, because that was a pretty subtle dress down. I feel like the sneakers were the giveaway, but again, that's a super specific thing to take notice of. In 1908, our French film, insert pronunciation here, was the first pornographic movie. Well done if you got that correct. Camp Crystal Lake, or B, Camp Crystal Lake, the Friday the 13th. And I promise to ask you a hard horror question next time if you request it. Question 30, it's worth 4 points. Tina Turner, Celine Dion, Rihanna, and Lady Gaga. 4 points. I know we're all discussing the Bond, and we decided that Never wasn't going to count because Never Say Never Again wasn't officially part of the canon, and we did end up saying that we wanted official canon. So that's why we went with Die rather than Never, and we had a little chat about it. That's what we were talking about when we muted ourselves. So if you said Never, I'm sorry for the Bond question. We're going to go with Die though. Question 31, it's 3 weeks, or B, hopefully that team who didn't get this question got it in time. Question 32, it's the Addams Family. The Addams Family enjoys moonbathing. Question 33, it is A, Oriental, B, Tom Yam Kha, C, Beef. Thank you for the team who requested this wildly specific question. Feel free to be as specific as you want to be. I will try my best to write you a question. Question 34. This one's worth 4 points. Okay, so it was A3, B4, C2, D1. Avengers Endgame, of course, on 94%. Wonder Woman was 93%. The Dark Knight Rises, 87%. And Thor The Dark World, 66%. So 1 point for A3, 1 point for B4, 1 point for C2, 1 point for D1. Question 35. Oh, good job. A couple of teams had 4 out of 4. That's awesome. Question 35. I know it was tricky and blasted your heads off, but I like it, so deal with it. PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, original PlayStation, and Nintendo 64, 4 points. I did need this specification of PlayStation 2. We are talking old school here. I know that there's a lot of iterations, but that was definitely Nintendo 64. Question 36. It was red. The stripe on Helga's dress is red. Question 37. It's bootylicious. Bootylicious is now a word in the Oxford English Dictionary. Question 38. John Cena. You better believe it. Him and those giant arms. In case you're wondering, a hidden boot sound does count. I mean, what does really count in life? Who knows? But in this particular instance, it's connected, it's part of the console's lore, and it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. I'm not going to pretend it's not tricky. Alright, question 39. It was Tree Trunks. 1 point for Tree Trunks. If you said Adventure Time because you couldn't remember Tree Trunks' name, you can have a half point. Half point for Adventure Time. And 40. It was a sofa. A Dagstrop is a sofa from IKEA. I think they've just stopped making it though. But it is a sofa, not an album, not a character from Witcher. Now, I will let you know the individual that has won the pin for the Netherworld Cage question this week. Of course, this still concerns teams because if you guessed it right at the end of round 1, you can add 5 points. If you guessed it right at the end of round 2, you can add 3 points. The film was, of course, The 7-Year Itch. Great job. A bunch of people got that after the first clue. But the person who got it first, and actually got it first by quite some margin, was Adcroft.Jane. Adcroft.Jane on Insta, you have won the Netherworld pin for getting the Nicolas Cage answer the fastest. And don't forget to give the appropriate points to your teams if you knew it at the beginning of round 1. So, that is us. The time has come to add up your round 2 scores, then add up your total score. The total score is the one that I need, and if you want to be included in the special leaderboard that we post on the Netherworld Facebook page, you need to go down to the panels in the Twitch stream, click on the Google form, and submit an official final score, and that's where you can also request themes. So do that now. It's the only way that I can get your score and put it on the leaderboard. In the meantime, the time is now to send me your comics. I've already got a lot of them, but if there's anyone that's still sitting on their comic, send it through now, because Ben and I will judge them and will remember to properly put the mic on mute whilst we're talking about all your drawings. If you don't want to be on the leaderboard, you can just post your score in the chat, but if you would like your team to be proudly up there marked against the others, then do tell me your final score in the official Google form, which is linked in the panels below.
Everyone knows the kind of girl who needs that regular touch, or someone who wants them. Somebody finding always around to give some. Never disowned or on her own, to know that it's okay to step away from someone long term. Beat your own drum, feel secure in your own skin. Love from within, time to begin. Now she's alone, dancing like nobody is home. Free on her own, not attached and ready to roam. Now she's alone, dancing like nobody is home. Don't need nobody that much, don't need no regular touch. Don't need no regular touch. Anxiety grows and changes all that she thought. Now being apart with no one beside her is hard work. Then time moves on and he has left her wanting. She was lost in his web, but now she knows that It's okay to step away from someone long term. Beat your own drum, feel secure in your own skin. Love from within, time to begin. Now she's alone, dancing like nobody is home. Free on her own, not attached and ready to roam. Now she's alone, dancing like nobody is home. Don't need nobody that much, don't need no regular touch. Don't need no regular touch.
Okay, we are back. We are ready to announce the winner. I just scooched back to 34 because somebody needed it. Thank you for posting your scores in the chat. Again, if you'd like to be part of the leaderboard, make sure you do it in the Google Forms and send me an official form telling me what you've got. Amazing comics as per usual. I will put the winner in next week's notice board, and I'll also post some of the runners up so you can see the fine work of everyone. I'll just loosely describe the winner of tonight. We had a beautiful Kiwi inspired New Zealand comic with a Kiwi on top of the world singing a Beyonce song. And again, every time I try and describe a comic, it goes abysmally wrong. So I'm sure the person who drew it will know it's them. Everybody else, I'll post the winning comic up on the Netherworld Facebook page with the leaderboard, and I'll also do a bunch of the runners-up on next week's notice board. But that's us for the night. Thank you for playing. You've been a delight. Doctor Who, Lost, and Mike all included in that. We'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30 on Twitch. Please request whatever you want. I'll do my best to write you a question. Other than that, stay safe. It's been a joy. Ben and I love you both. Your presence is here with us in spirit. So long, friends.